Our next speaker is Coach Brian Angelichio, tight end coach, Carolina Panthers. Brian's had an unbelievable NFL career coaching with the Washington Redskins, the Green Bay Packers, the Cleveland Browns, and the Tampa Bay Bucks. A great college career at Pitt and Rutgers. Division III, Ithaca College. Brian is a great friend of mine. We worked together with Kyle Shanahan with the Cleveland Browns, and he will be detailed and do a tremendous job. His topic today is called Coaching the Duo Play from the Ground Up. He had a great background with this duo play with Washington, with Coach Bill Callahan, who was one of the founders and really one of the great coaches of this play.
How you doing? My name is Brian Angelichio, and currently I am the tight ends coach with the Carolina Panthers. Excited to bring you this virtual clinic, the George Deleone Offensive Line Clinic. Today's topic will be on the duo run play, which is a play that has a variety of formation variation and personnel groupings. But again, I just want to say it's an honor and a privilege. Certainly wish we could do this in a clinic setting where I could field your questions and conversate. But in this time that we're in, the virtual classrooms and meetings have been very beneficial, I know, for our players, and what Coach Rule and the staff there in Carolina has done. They've done a tremendous job of providing information, and it's a credit to our players and our head coach and the organization with the Carolina Panthers. But I'd be remiss if I didn't give an extended shout out to Coach George Deleone. He's a man that has been a tremendous impact on my life as a teacher and coach. I first met George in 1995 when I was starting out coaching at Ithaca College in upstate New York, and George was the offensive coordinator at Syracuse. And I give him a lot of credit for my development as a football coach. He was gracious with his time and allowing me to come up to Syracuse University and spend countless hours with him in practice, after practice, and without Coach Pasqualoni allowing me to go up and Coach Deleone taking the time. He's a tremendous giver of football and what he's given back to this profession and coaches. So it is an honor for me to be able to speak at his clinic, and something that I take a lot of pride in. And I also want to say I had a chance to work with him on the same staff with the Cleveland Browns, which was a tremendous experience. So again, appreciative, and let's get into some football is why we're all here. What I'm going to do is I want to share the screen so then we can go through the presentation of our duo clinic. So the duo concept, all right, as we talk about the principles of duo, it's an all-purpose run to take advantage of gap double teams on the play side. It's a core run that is a non-moving part power play. So essentially we are going to allow ourselves to get 2 or possibly 3 double teams on the front side depending on the personnel grouping that we are in. All right, it can be featured in base and sub personnel grouping. So it can be part of your base run game, which would be using 2 tight ends, 1 back. It could be a tight end and a fullback, but it's an 8-gap run defense, right? It's an 8-gap run defense in base. Can also be used in offensive sub personnel groupings, which would be your 3 wide receiver groupings, where you would have 1 tight end on the field in the halfback. It limits negative runs. That's very important. That's why a lot of people like it. It limits negative runs. You should at least be able to get back to the line of scrimmage. The runner will attack is strong side A gap. All right. The aiming point for the runner is the strong side A gap. All right. From the dot alignment. Now you can run it from an offset, but typically we have found it's best when you're in the dot alignment from the home position, whether you're in the pistol in the gun or whether you're under center. The halfback will read the first linebacker to the ball side, which we will ID as the Mike. The halfback read. The read will determine a potential 3-prong cut for the ball carrier. We talk about cramming it. You cram it inside or outside the read. all right, off the leverage of the mic. We talk about a bounce read, whereas if they crash the front, pirate, the six technique, pirates, and they force the ball to bounce, it'll be a bounce read. And also it can cut back. The runner can take the ball inside or outside off the read on the play side. So we talked about that inside or outside the Mike linebacker. The runner can also take the ball backside if off his inside read when he feels the weak side linebacker flow aggressively over the top. Very similar to the power play, right? When that backside will flows over the top, the runner can instinctively take it back. And you'll see some clips on that. The ball handling. We want the halfback's toes at 7.5 yards. Now, some people have deepened them back to 8 because it's a tempo play where he can set the blocks. But we have found 7.5. The footwork consists of the halfback of a 6-inch lateral lead step, A-gap track to the inside leg of the play side guard. Some people have done it with jab footwork. We found we want the back shoulder square. The lateral lead step gets us his shoulder square the best. The second step squares you up to the A-gap. Read the response of the Mike, must press the line of scrimmage. That is critical. The halfback must press the line of scrimmage to set the Mike linebacker's block. The changeup is jab footwork. And you'll see a jab footwork. And the reason for jab footwork, men, is that it'll allow the backers, right? It'll set the linebackers weak. So you get a chance maybe to get those linebackers to start to scrape weak. All right, and then it'll be ball handling, over-the-top ball handling for the halfback. We talk about the QB, open play side at 6 o'clock, right? He wants to step slightly off the midline at 6 o'clock. Vertical footwork. Execute handoff deep and skinny without pushing the runner wide, right? We want to give the back the A-gap. Mesh point consistency will complement our run action protection. This is a good play action protection that you can use as well. And then we talked about the jab footwork for the halfback. If we use it for the quarterback, right, we want to open at 5 or 7, all right, opposite, all right, with our butt to the hole and execute over the top handoff and ball handling. All right, some front side terms you'll hear me talk about, right? Front side combination terms. An ace is a double team between the center and guard. A doom is a guard tackle double team. A doom, read it, is where we will start a doom, a guard tackle double team, and then versus jam, a jam front where the center and both guards are covered, we can transition to an ace, right, versus that backside run through. We'll cover that. And then we have a tram, which is a tackle tight end double team, and then a quad, which is our tight end wing double team. Backside, we talk about an A block, which is the backside center and guard, all right, versus a backside shade, a backside A-gap player. And then the backside tackle will use a cutoff technique with a possible draw set. All right, now we're getting into our base personnel 3-by-1 duo run. So this is the starting point of the play. So it's an 8-gap fit defense, right? So the defense has 8 gaps to defend. We're going to create a in our base running play. So here you can see we got the Y and the U tight end in a YY wing. Okay, however you create it, could be bunch, could be various different formations, but it's a 3-by-1 set. The Z receiver is tied to the safety. He is the force block on the safety. So if it's split safety coverage, meaning it's too high, he'll be MDMing, all right, for the safety. If it's strong rotation, which is this illustration, the receiver is responsible to come in and block the force player. So let's talk about the blocking unit. The offensive line is responsible for the Mike and the Will. The Mike and the Will. So the double teams will start from the guard, tackle, or tackle tight end. The Mike point, we will always start, the line will handle the Mike and Will. So we will ID the Mike. All right, so we ID the Mike. Okay, the front side guard and tackle versus a 3 technique or guard cover will execute what we call a doom block. It is a vertical double. Every double team on this play is vertical. So if the Mike comes underneath, the guard will come off very simply. If the Mike scrapes in the B gap, the tackle will come off. Backside, with a guard bubble weak, we will execute an A block where the center backside guard will double to the will. Now the YY, the tight ends will execute what we call a quad block where they will double team to the Sam. And again, the receiver has the strong safety. So invariably, the halfback is reading the Mike. And just want to keep this real simple. If the halfback's out, if the Mike is out, the halfback's inside. If the Mike plays the A-gap downhill, the halfback is outside. So that is initial read off of the Mike. Now, if they pirate the front and crash, it's a bounce read for the halfback. It's a bounce read. If the halfback feels the Mike out, all right, he'll start that thing in the A and he feels the will flowing hard over the top. That's where you could see the cutback play, the cutback run. All right, very quickly, we're working through it. So here you can see we have an over sync defense, very similar with Will on the ball. If Will is on the ball, we will simply just fan, right, instead of acing the backside. You can see the point is still to the Mike. There is our doom, and the Y and the YY are quadding. Another variation of the front. Now the Sam is on the ball. When the Sam comes on the ball, obviously it took away our double team, our ability to quad, right? We still have the Mike point. There is your doom. There is your ace. Now we will have two dry blocks on the front side. And teams like to do this, right, to take away your double team. So now they'll create single blocks here for the YY. Now the receiver must motion inside and insert and block the strong safety. So he will insert in the C or D gap to block the strong safety. And then obviously we will book the corner. So at worst, you will able to get the ball, make the corners tackle on this run play. You will be able to get the corners to have to tackle on this run play. Let's talk about an underfront. Now we have a guard bubble strong. A guard bubble strong. So again, the line will handle the Mike and the Will. We ID the Mike. All right. Now the front side guard is uncovered. He will ace with the center back to the Will. Now the tackle tight end will execute a tram block to the Mike linebacker. Again, the receiver will now short motion in to block the strong safety. And then the second tight end or the U-man will be on a drive block. There it is versus an underfront versus strong rotation. Here we go now. Remember, the receiver is responsible for the force. So now it is weak rotation. Again, ID in the Mike. Guard covered. There's our doom. Starting the double teams from the inside out. We have our A block. Now we will motion the receiver weak. He will block the free safety. And again, the corner will be booked on the front side. Now, usually, man, when they have the free safety weak, these linebackers will be bossed, right? So the Mike and the Will be bossed. And you can see on the motion, they will start to straighten up, which will help our double team. So there is the reason for the motion to allow the receiver to handle the free safety. It gets the linebackers at advantageous angles for us to double team, and then we'll leave the little for the corner, all right, that we will book on our halfback. Here's an example of an under wink. Again, weak rotation, bring the free safety back. You can see now, here we had the doom, right? Now we get the under front, we're tramming. And again, all double teams are vertical. Just one picture here of the odd front. We got the odd front. In this illustration, we will get our ace, okay? We'll get our tram drive block. Now, we'll fan the backside of the odd front versus double guard bubble. Nothing changes for the receiver. And guys, you do not always have to short motion him. If you have a split where the receiver's in a cut split and you feel like he can go get this guy from his alignment, that is excellent. We refer to that as maybe motion. So if the safety's at an unblockable level, he will activate a short motion. If he can get him from his alignment, he can MDM him. And then remember, if it's weak rotation, we'll offset the receiver to motion weak to unlock the backers. And then here would be an example of a jam front, right? They covered the core inside. The core is covered inside. So now we would get into our doom read it. So you can see we point it backside. That would be the Mike point. Now we have the Sam right here. So the quad will go to the Sam. The receiver is still in his MDM. And we will start the doom, but you can see the issue here, guys. If this Mike point runs in the backside A gap, we got issues, right? So The doom read it would be where this could start as a doom, and if the mic starts to trigger, okay, we will transition to a ace block on the move. All right, and I'll show you some examples of how we train that. Here be an example of jab footwork. You can see the quarterback open and opposite. We're trying to set the backers and then take the ball back front side. The problem with the jab footwork, though, sometimes, guys, is the back never gets his shoulder square to that A gap to allow us to be able to hit that ball and get the cutback run. We also have the ability to do it out of 13 personnel, where now we have put 3 tight ends in the game. All right, and then really just think about it. This tight end is acting, who we call the tray man, is acting as the receiver, right? So he is tied to the force, to the safety, okay? Everything else is the same. We will get our mic point, we'll get our doom, we got our ace, and now we have our quad, all right? And the third tight end will be responsible for the safety. Responsible for the safety. So if it's weak safety down, we'll tray maybe motion and bring him over. We'll leave the corner for the back. Different being, now hear what I'm saying here, because there's 3 tight ends, right? There's the mic point. All right. So now we would drive block, right? And you remember we insert the Z in. But because we have 3 tight ends, we can still keep this combination now with the tight end. So now the U and the tray man will execute what we would call a Cinco block, a Cinco, where they would double team the Sam up to the safety. Remember, if it was a receiver, he would short motion and insert. So we can still create our double team if that safety is inside, where the 2 tight ends can work together in our 3 tight end package. And this is an example here of weak rotation, where the tray man would come over, right? And you can see here, right, the backers will now balance up. 3-by-1 base. Now let's go to 3-by-1 sub. So now we have 3 receivers, right? So this would be our tight end, okay? And then these would be our 2 receivers. So here we're in a bunch formation. Same rules. The offensive line will handle the mic and the will. So they will get our doom block, we'll get our A block, and now the tight end will drive the defensive end. The receiver is responsible for the nickel Sam. Now, obviously, we can't quad with a tight end and a receiver here. We wouldn't want to do that and have the receiver have to be part of the double team. And then the Z receiver now is no different. He is responsible for the strong safety. So just showing you some pictures here. You can see we're in bunch. They got strong rotation. We got our doom and ace. We'll short motion the receiver in for the strong safety. Here's an example of weak rotation. We will motion our receiver over. He will block the free safety. The doom will stay to the mic. The ace will go to the will. The tight end is on the end. Nothing changes. Again, our 3-by-1. Here you can see another variation where we have 3 receivers set. Now we just got that zebra receiver, we call him, in a cut split. The Z is still tied to the safety. Here's an example of weak rotation. We motion the receiver over. Well, the nickel runs with the receiver, which is fine. So the receiver will pull it out, pull the nickel out, and then they start to rock the coverage. No problem. Now the zebra will now block that strong safety. This is a good way if teams rock on the motion, because now you're able to get the late rotation. If you can envision where he goes back, he comes down, where that strong safety's not dug in the box. And if you use your cadence appropriately, it's a nice, easy block for that zebra man. And again, the corner versus an 8-man front will be booked. Here's another example of a safety down. Motion them in. And again, we get to our jam front. We got our doom with a potential doom read it if that will hits the backside gap. So there's our 3-by-1 on a sub. Again, just different variations. You can see motion and over the backside Z versus weak rotation. So again, just in review, the Z receiver, man, he has the safety. He is tied to the safety. Strong rotation, he stays on the same side. If it's weak rotation, motion him over. The offensive line will handle the Mike and Will. All right, now, we also have the ability to run it out of a slot formation, a 2x2 slot formation in base personnel groupings. So in this illustration, you can see the receivers, right? We're in 12 personnel, which is 2 tight ends, 1 halfback. We have a slot formation here. This is base personnel. The offensive line has the Mike and Will, and the Y and the U, or the Y and the second tight end, have the Sam. We like this play if they don't play a hard corner over here. So if this corner is soft, you get them soft. It's an excellent, excellent play because now they don't have a secondary force player. They don't have a hard support player over here. So we can still keep our quad. We keep our doom. We got our A block. And again, we'll book the corner. We'll book the corner. We don't like it if this corner's hard on the line of scrimmage. If he is, we can alert a motion to bring this receiver over. But we do like it when they're soft, and you'll make that determination, or particularly if that guy's really not a good tackler, right? You create a good matchup for yourself. Here's an example if it's corners over. Now you make the determination off that strong safety. If he's like in a 2x7 man coverage over here, it's an excellent, excellent play. You can see here we have the tram, right, to the Mike. We handle the Mike and Will. We got our ace, and then we're in a cutoff mode over here. Cutoff mode over here. Now let's talk about it out of sub personnel. Now we're in 11 personnel grouping. So we have 11 personnel. You got your 2 receivers. So we're in a 2x2 set. So now we just handle it with alert short motion. Here we don't need to use our maybe motion. We can just alert Z short here. So in 2x2, again, the line will handle the Mike and Will. So in 2x2 sub, we will make the Mike a strong side point. So the Sam will become the Mike, okay? The Mike will become the Will. So we keep the integrity. So here we have our A block. Here is our doom. The Y is in a drive block. Now the receiver is just in an alert Z short motion to go handle the strong safety. If the strong safety's down, he'll go block them. If it's split safety coverage where you have 2 shell, the receiver can just go in and MDM him from his base alignment. This allows you to have your run RPOs or run solution tags, right? So here you can throw like a little wide receiver screen. You could have your bubble screen out here, right, where you can handle that nickel cheating in from the box. So however you want to handle that element with your RPO game is fine. You could also do this out of the gun if you wanted, where the quarterback was in the gun and the halfback was offset strong, okay? And what we would do is the halfback would just slide into the A gap, right? Because remember, it's in the A gap, right? Setting our track shoulder square to the A gap. We don't mind it from near, offset near, because it can keep the integrity of the shoulder square. Have not had as much success out of it if the halfback's offset weak in the gun, because again, just never felt like he could get his shoulders square downhill to set the back. Now that's certainly something you can do. We just haven't done it. We've done it more from a near. Some other variations, right? You can see here the safety now, they have a 9 technique on the end. Now the safety is inside, right? So now we would not, we want to make sure we short motion this Z inside so he will enter in the C gap to block the strong safety. We would mic it strong. There's your mic. There's the doom. Double to the mic. Again, vertical double. There's the read of the halfback. And then we would ace back to the Will linebacker. The corner is booked. So it's a great play to handle the support, right? The strong safety fitting, and it'll make the corner, if the ball does bounce, to get a hat on a hat and make their worst tackler, right? Their coverage guy. And guys, we like to run it. Say you got a really good coverage guy, right? We'll lose Deion Sanders for lack of a better, right? We're probably one of the best corners ever to play the game. Well, you know he's going to lock down your receiver, but now you have forced a guy like him to have to tackle in the run game. You force him to be able to make those corners tackle. Make those corners tackle. Here's an example here if you had a nickel front where they played an under defense. So now we would get our ace, and now the tackle tight end would tram. They would double team to the guard, to the point, to the mic, right? Tram, so the tackle tight end would tram to the mic. Again, the receiver is tied to the strong safety. We also have the ability to do it on a 1x3. Now, hear what I'm saying here. If we are in 1x3 alignment, okay, we can motion the receiver to a 2x2. Now the point will be strong. There's the mic point. So now we will have our doom, and then this receiver will motion across. Rather motioning from outside in, we'll bring them across to handle the strong safety. Here you can see it out of jam, just bringing them over to handle the strong safety. All right, now let's get into some video. So we'll start with our tram block. So on our tram block, again, we want to have square double teams handling the defensive end and then coming off for the mic. If the mic linebacker flows here, the tackle comes off. If the mic's linebacker flows here, the tight end comes off. Now on this double team, we want to have two high legs, two adjacent legs high. So the tackle outside leg will be high. The tight end's inside leg will be high. We want to get square on the double team. The tackle's on the inside number. The tight end's on the outside number. The tight end wants to take two high legs, right? Two in and up steps, getting his inside knee high. The tackle will use jab, high leg footwork. Jab, high leg footwork. He'll jab his inside foot, go with the high leg. We want to be square. We'd like to have our helmets tighter here. Helmets tighter on the numbers. If the defender's loose, the tackle doesn't need the jab. He could also just go near foot with an outside high leg right now. So you can see here, now with the mic flowing here, the halfback should be reading that thing inside. Another picture. Again, trying to stay square. Tight end going with a high leg drive. Tackle going with a jab high leg. Again, could go near high leg and not jab it if this defender's off or playing square into him. And we'll talk more through that. But again, just some examples here of focusing on the tight end, going with the high leg square. Now, one coaching point is we don't want to stack these legs. We don't want that backside leg to be stacked, right? We want our hips square because that'll open our hips opposite. We don't want that. And when the tight end comes off, come off for that inside number because that back should be running that thing inside the mic. The ball might hit here or it might hit here. Last example here of a tram. Again, high leg, square. Don't like the tackle. See how he's turned, and we'll talk about the surface we want to strike. We don't want to use a flipper because a flipper allows you to get shedded off the block. And you can see the tackle here get shedded off and turned. We like to go in with we call it a shoulder single under, where we're taking the top part of our front side shoulder and striking and really throwing our inside hand and punching underneath. That's versus a 5 technique, a jet player. Now we'll do some training as if we had a 4 technique, or the end is playing into the tackle. We talk about a cross shove, a high leg cross shove. So the tight end is going to come in and up, staying square at a 45-degree angle. And what he wants to do is he wants to cross shove with his shoulder forearm and cross shove the end or the 4 technique onto the tackle. And you can see the launch. We really want to launch and get those cleats in the ground and extend and push off that outside foot because it'll lower your hips. We want to really bang and knock the hell out of that hip with a shoulder forearm cross shove, banging the hip. You can see the outside hand comes underneath the right hand here. And we want to really launch and knock that onto the tackle and then foot fire, climb vertically for the Mike. That's a really nice picture of the tight end. All right, another picture here. Now, he went with the back leg first. We would like to move with the inside leg first to go with the high leg and gain at a 45-degree angle, square into the line of scrimmage, 2 yards. So you can see I'm simulating the 4 technique, right? The 4 technique, or the end squeezing the tackle. Squeezing the tackle. Different than the earlier double teams where the end was trying to jet and split us. Split us. Very good. So here's a couple examples of a tram cross shove. So here you can see the 4, okay? So this would be like an odd front. We got our fan. So the guard in center would be in an ace. So the guard is executing a high leg shove. And you can see the tackle versus the 4. He's going to take all of them. He's going to go with a drive block right now with a double under. And the tackle or the tight end's coming down on the cross shove. Now you got to bang that hip. See, when he bangs it, we got to put it back on that tackle. Put it back on. And we're just running a half line drill, right, to execute the doubles. Very nice, though, being square, right? And now if the Mike goes here, the back's going to be outside the Mike. If the Mike goes here, the back's inside. Now, we don't have the second tight end here to execute the drive block. That's an excellent picture, okay? And you can see here, you can see this is a picture of the ace, and this isn't a great angle here for you to see the tram block. We'll also like to film it from the side so we can see the vertical push of the line and the movement on the tram. Another picture here. Watch the tram. You can see the launch. Tackle taking all of it on a drive block because he's a 4 playing into him. Could be a tight 5 that squeezes. We're going with a high leg. High leg square. Good picture here of the tackle. You can see the high leg. Square block on the double. Another picture from the side. Again, gaining into the line, putting the hand on the hip. You can see the outside hand is underneath of the cross shove. Want to go to the end zone on this one. And I want you to look at the guard. Excellent picture here of Brandon Sheriff on the high leg. On the high leg. You can see the excellent picture, high legging with the cross shove. The center taking it, no different than the tackle here, right? You can see the tackle taking all the 4, and you can see the tight end on the high leg trying to pin the hip. Trying to pin the hip. We got tremendous double teams right there. And you can see it from the side. Don't necessarily like the footwork of the tight end, but he gets to the high leg on the drive, right? And you can see the outside hand underneath. Another picture. You can see the high leg. Knock it on the tackle. You can see the guard going to the high leg. 4 technique. You can see the double under drive block by the tackle. Excellent, excellent job. Excellent play to allow you to not get run-throughs, man. And again, these are some really good clips of the high leg cross shove. You can see here, pound it on. You see the 4. Knock it onto the tackle. Knock it onto the tackle. Stay square in transition, right, with our hat to the inside, because now the back, with the Mike flowing over the top, the back may cram this thing here, right, because his read is inside the Mike. The read is inside the Mike, so you see the tight end as he comes off, put it on the inside number. Don't be in a hurry to come off. Do not be in a hurry to come off, because that backer could fall back inside and the back could bounce it. The back could bounce it. Let the backer commit downhill where he gets in within an arm's length of you before you come off. Now here's some doom blocks. Okay, this is the guard and tackle. And this is Coach Bill Callahan, who I was fortunate to be with in Washington last year, who does a tremendous job at this play. And a lot that I learned on this play was from Bill. He's an excellent, excellent teacher of this play. I mean, this guy knows this football play. All right, here's a great picture here of the doom. All right, and watch Brandon Sheriff. He goes right now with an outside high leg. Okay, this is versus a jet, right? This is 2 adjacent high legs by the tackle and the guard. So here he did not jab the inside foot because this guy is jetting the gap. He went right now with a high leg. Good picture here of not using the flipper. You see he's going with the top part of his shoulder pad, and he's throwing an uppercut with his inside hand so he doesn't get shimmied off the block. You can see that the right tackle coming with a vertical high leg, and we are trying to knock this guy back, man. This is a guy that's trying to jet and split the double team. Excellent, excellent picture. Here's another picture of the left guard and tackle. Watch them both bringing, bang, single under, square, excellent fit of the shoulder pads. And you can see the guard here going with a high leg right now by the left guard. You can see the left tackle going with a high leg. Hell of a picture of the squareness on the block. And again, if the mic shoots here, the guard launches, late launch, and then the back will hit this thing outside. If the mic comes over here, the back is going to come off inside of that. Excellent, excellent picture of the double team. Now, let's look at the cross shove. Same training that the tight ends did. Just a little bit different, right, as far as using the buckboard, the shiver sled. But you can see a great picture here of the tackle, right? Big Trent Williams coming in with a shoulder flipper, right? A sideways shoulder flipper. His outside hand is underneath. His shoulders are square so he can launch vertical. We'd like to get this hand underneath. But again, an excellent picture, right? Going with the high leg, gaining a yard or two into the line versus a cross shove tram where the end is playing into the tackle. Nice picture here. I really like the guard here, right? You can see the shoulder cross shove, really nice outside hand underneath. Again, this outside hand's on top. We'd like it the other way. Good picture here of the foot fire vertical, right? Knock them onto the guard, right? This is the guard, and this is the tackle coming down, right? Knock them onto the guard, foot fire. And again, you can see it here of the cross shove. You can see the guard, right? This is a heavy three that's playing into the guard. So the guard's going to go two hands right now to take the block. And there's a great picture of the cross shove. Launch them onto the tackle and then foot fire for the mic. Another picture here, right? Bang. You can see the two technique playing in. Well, here comes the high leg cross shove. You can see the tackle high leg, put them on him. Tight end now's in a drive block. Tight end's in a drive block. And let's look at it from the sideline, right? Bang. Nice job with the high leg. You can see now we went jab footwork inside, or jab footwork, and then the guard taking all the two or the tight three because he's playing in. Understand, man, if he's trying to jet it, we're going right now with adjacent high legs. There's no cross shove. Just want to make sure that, man, he is playing into the guard. And you can see the tight end on the drive block. You can see the center executing a high leg here, okay? And we'll talk a little bit about we overlap, and I'll just hit this quick. This backside A gap, A block, we would overlap the center and guard, right? Because the center goes with a high leg with his left, and we overlap so we don't get split on the backside, and we'll talk more about that. But again, just a very, very good picture here of the fit and the removal on the three technique. Now, they move, man. They move. So we have a doom alert tram. So if we're getting teams that pirate and move, this tackle will start the doom. And you can see here we're working a doom where the tight end's in a drive block, right? A doom where the tight end's in a drive block. Well, we have a doom alert tram. So you can see Vernon here is going to a drive block. And then the tackle will start the doom, foot fire, come back, and Vernon will go from two hands to one hand to two. So they're initially dooming to the mic. Indicators, the mic's bossed. The front, they're going to pirate. All those tells. We go doom alert tram. We will convert this thing back to a tram block. And then you can see it just fits back to a tram. Vernon putting his hat inside. Again, two hands on the drive, convert to one, back to two on the mic. Again, this is just pre-practice walking it, working it. And you can see here, doom, alert, tram. Great picture of two to one to two on the mic. And what do you think the back's reading? He's reading the mic. The mic's out. The back will be inside off the mic. So Vernon wants to put his hat on the inside number so he can run that ball back in there. All right, now we're moving on to the tight end blocks, right, on the quad blocks. And this is just an illustration of what we're talking about the single under. So you can see jab, jab the inside, high leg, high leg. Some pictures you saw, we went with a high leg right now, depending on how the defender's playing you. But if he's heavy and tight, we go with a jab, high leg. We want to hit with the top part of the shoulder pad, and we don't want to use a flipper here. We want to be more of an uppercut so we can stay square and get more surface on the block. Now, we have used flippers, right? It's just something that keeps you a little square, right? A flipper is still very good. It's still very strong. But if you use the flipper, just make sure you're hitting more with the top part of that pad. Because this block man wants to stand that end up, right? He's got to stand him up and stop his charge. And then this outside element, right, is the lead guy is coming down to either high leg cross shove it, right, or we're getting to an adjacent high leg. So just another picture here of the jab, high leg, man. And you got to fire those feet, and that knee has got to really drive to pry him open and get extension, man. Get extension and lift. All right. Here's a technique we use on the YY now. Okay, when we have an end that is playing into the Y, we call it a quad overlap because they're essentially already off levels, right? So this is the Y, this is the F tight end. So you can see here, Vernon is going to just overlap, right? 2 lateral steps and then execute the dry block. The reason why we do that is so we don't get split. Now understand, we're already off the ball. We're already off the ball. So we're trying to close the space so we don't get split. Again, this is very, very good versus the end, right, that's trying to squeeze the tight end. So you can see the Y go to a jab, high leg, bang, pop that pad, eyes to the Sam, because remember, the quad goes to the Sam. The F overlap, now we've closed the space to launch vertical. And then the Y is he launches the inside player, hat to the inside number. Okay, some examples of the overlap. Okay, you can see here we're in a YY. We're in a YY here. You can see high leg, great picture, jab, high leg, pop that pad. You can see we're squeezing the Y. We get the overlap. Lateral 2, and then transition. We like to tell this guy, take your inside hand and just place it on the outside number. Don't push them off. Just leave it there, and then we can close the space. This is a quad overlap. Again, I can't emphasize, stand up that end, the Y. Stand them up and then launch. And you can see how it keeps the outside leg high for the Y and allow him to launch right to that inside number without getting grabbed. Another picture here. And I want you to just look at it. See how he stands him up, man? Bang! Pop him up. Here's the overlap. 1, 2. Climb vertical. And look at his shoulders. Vertical. Keep driving that outside knee high so so I don't get my shoulders turned and grabbed. And then I can launch, working to get my hat to the inside number. Very good picture there. Very good picture. All right. Now, this would be an example here, and I don't want to lose you, right? We talked about the overlap, which is what we do most of the time. But if this guy is just trying to jet up the field, we would go, just like we did on our trams and our dooms, we would go to a high leg right now. High leg right now where we got a vertical double team, not an overlap. So right here, we're going to a high leg, both knees high versus a jet player. Both knees high versus a jet. But most of the time when we're off the ball, man, we'll go with a overlap. But again, because this guy is trying to jet and squeeze and play more into the F, we'll go with adjacent high leg, just like we saw on the dooms and the trams. But you can see here, right, this guy is squeezing him, right? See how he's squeezing the Y? This is why we would go more to an overlap versus a squeeze. Because can you see how we potentially could get split right here, guys? Right, so in this illustration I put in there, because that end is playing the Y. You see how he's squeezing into the Y? So we would prefer to go a little bit more to an overlap here. Now, if he's jetting, like in the last picture, see how he's trying to jet and split them? We go more to a quad, a high leg quad, right? Here, we went to an overlap. We would like to go to an overlap in this picture. So I hope you can see, right? potentially how he could squeeze us, right, if this is a full speed drill. All right, now last thing here, we talk about our double teams versus a six. So here we have a six technique, right, playing the Y, and then we have a wing. So this is a quad, but this is a quad high leg. No different than the tram cross shove, or the doom cross shove. He's playing into the covered guy. He's playing into the post guy on the double team, right? He's playing all the tight end. He's a six. He's playing the Y. So the Y is going to shoot, go right now, strike breastplates or double under, okay? And the F tight end is going to come down, and you got it. He's going to go to a high leg cross shove. Great picture here. Keeping his shoulders square, cross shove, a sideways flipper, right? A sideways flipper, shoulders square, outside hand underneath, bang the hip, put him on the Y, and then foot fire to the Sam. So again, this would be a cross shove quad that we would use here for the U-man, right? For the F tight end. A cross shove quad, right? We can use an overlap quad, okay? And then very rare we would use a high leg quad, okay, where we're getting the jet. So just in reviewing our double teams, right? We got dooms, trams, quads. We want to start with adjacent high legs, right? Versus jet techniques, trying to split us. All right, adjacent high legs, the inside player, the outside player, adjacent high legs, each taking an inside number, outside number, driving them vertical. If we get four techniques or defenders playing head up to the inside player of the double team or squeezing the block, we go to a cross shove. And then on the wing with the YY wing, we'll execute an overlap or an overlap quad or a high leg cross shove quad. Okay, and then if there's situations where he's playing more into the wing, we'll go with adjacent high legs. All right, now let's get to some tape. I broke these down. These are all going to start out as double teams, men, all right, to the three technique. And there'll be some illustrations of base and sub, okay? Base and sub. So this first picture will be versus a three technique. So we are in 12 personnel. So again, the offensive line has the Mike and Will. So here we have a tackle bubble. There's the Mike. There's the Mike. There's the Will. We got to execute a fan here. We're going to execute a doom. Okay. The YY, and we have a big tackle in here at the tight end spot. Okay. So this is the Y and this is the F tight end. You can see the receiver, short motion, and for the strong safety. Here would be an example of an overlap quad. You can see the end is playing in to the tight end, to the Y. Squeezing the Y, we go with an overlap. We don't get split. We press vertical. The Sam runs underneath. Bang. You can see the Y's off, or the big tight end in this picture. You can see the overlap. Very nice. Excellent, excellent picture. Let's look at the doom. You can see the doom. The two is playing into the right guard. We go with a high leg cross shove. The Mike presses downhill. The back's read. Okay, I'm outside the Mike. Bang. Excellent, excellent, good looking play here. You can see the receiver, short motion and in for the strong safety. We'll book the corner. Nice job here by Adrian. Pressing the line. Set the blocks, man. They got an 8-man front defense. They're a one-gap fit defense. It's an excellent, excellent picture at it. Okay, another example here. Another example. Okay, this would be out of our 13 personnel. So here we have three tight ends. So again, you got the Y, all right, the F tight end, the Z tight end. Okay, now in this picture, remember, the Z tight end, just like the receiver, is responsible for the safety. So you can see Heath is down, the strong safety. Okay, there's the Mike point. Jalen Smith is the Mike. So the doom handles the Mike. They will, the guard, we can't ace this, right? We can fan because the Will's on the ball. So they'll fan. The quad is going to the Sam. And then the Z will handle the strong safety. So let's start with the quad here first. You can see the end down, right? See how he squeezes the Y. We're going with an overlap quad. We don't want to get split. You can see the Y. Post them up, launch. Launch for the Sam. You can see the Z tight end, no different than the wide receiver. He's coming in to block the strong safety. We're booking the corner. We're booking the corner. All right? Now, let's talk about up front. They've kind of kicked it. You see how they were in an over, so they put him almost head up. No different than a jam alignment, right? So this would be, now we convert this to a ace by the guard and center. It's a hell of a job here. You can see the ace, right? Great job coming off late. Great job. Great fit. The back can maybe press this just a little bit more, but we get back for the cut. Hell of a job. Excellent block play. Very, very well done. Very well done. All right, now, here we go. Remember, we're in 13 personnel. This is the third tight end. No different than the Z receiver. We have the weak safety down. Weak safety down. So we motion the tight end out. You can see how he goes all the way out to the slot. We want to unlock the safety. Watch what the backers do. You see how they're all bossed. They're all bossed. This is the Mike. This is the Sam. This is the Will. Watch how it balances up the linebackers. See how the Mike came in the A-gap, and we'll see this from the back end. Okay, so right here's the Mike. Okay, this is the Sam. This right here is the Will. Will on the ball. Here's the free safety. So we bring the third tight end over. No different if it's Z receiver. Unlock the secondary. See how it brings the Mike back weak. Mike back weak. So that gives us tremendous angles, right? You see how the Sam balances up. So remember, the Doom will go to the Mike. The quad will go to the Sam. And then over here, we're going to fan it. Now, this is a nice picture here of a conversion, right? You can see this Doom going to a what? A tram with movement. You can see the Doom, right, converts to a ace. This is excellent, excellent done, all right? And you can see here the quad, so now the F tight end or the second tight end will be on the end. Really, really nice conversion here versus movement, guys. Now, you can see the big hit on this play, okay? Like to see the back a little bit more patient. Press that, because what will happen is you can see David Baccadiari, our left tackle here, he gets up for the Mike. This ball can run right in this gap right here. Right? But a very good picture here of the conversion. Doom to the tram versus movement. Really nice picture. Okay, here's one out of slot. Okay, remember we set out of slot. Okay, we're in a slot alignment. All right, we're going to book that strong side corner. So we have the Will. We have the Will who's halfway in between. So what we will do, right, is we're going to make him the Mike. There's the Sam. So the quad is going to the Sam. The Doom's going to the Mike. And then the ace is going to the Will, who is walked. If you wanted to, now we did, because you can see this Will backer is in and out. So we made him the Mike. So I don't want to lose you. If we made him the Mike, well, then the Doom would go here. Then the quad would go out to the corner. And then the ace would go back here to the Will, right? Because if we made him the Mike, the corner becomes who? The Sam. But for this picture, we made him the Mike. We wanted to leave him for the halfback. So you can see the quad. Good picture of the overlap quad. Good picture here, Jimmy posting up the end. Stop the end. Good launch on the Sam. Nice job here of the back pressing. Set the Sam. There's the cut. Nice job. You can see here the ace. The ace is going back here to Kiko Alonso, right? You can see the Will filling, and then the Doom's going back to the Mike. Good picture there. Now we have a 13 personnel run once again. And again, just want to, look at from this angle. Look at the ace block here. Look at the backside center, right, and guard on the ace. The removal. Look at the guard and tackle on the Doom. Removal. And guys, this run, right, it doesn't look sexy, but this is a positive run. You can see the removal here. Hell of a job by the inside players on those on the defensive tackles. So let's look at it from the end zone. So we're running our duo play. There's the mic point. We're in 13 personnel. So this tight end is responsible for the safety. Responsible for the safety. So you can see here they're in a cover 2 look. The corner's the force player. We'll block the corner. We'll dangle the safety back. Let's look inside out, right? We got our ace. Now, this is a nice picture of the ace. You can see the overlap, which we will do. The center going to the high leg. We will overlap the center and guard on the backside on the ace. Great job, and this is a hell of a job by Coach Callahan, right? Because it allows this guy not to get split on the double, and this guy will shoot that backside gap. Hell of a job here. Let's look at the doom. Great job. Jab, high leg by the right guard. Right? You can see the right tackle going to a high leg man. Square. The mic comes underneath. There's the read, right? The back is going to be outside the mic. This is a hell of a job by the back. You see how he's outside the back, the mic read. Skim through in there. That is a hell of a job by the back. Great patience. We can see here on the Sam back around the ball, it's a drive. Hell of a job. Hell of a job by the back pressing. Excellent run. Now, we're in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends. This is an example here of the ball bouncing. The ball bounces, it's one-on-one on the corner. One-on-one on the corner. We'll take Adrian Peterson on the corner all day. Great picture there, man, right? You can see the corner's not a hard secondary fill in the run. Excellent picture there of the ball bouncing. Let's talk through this. Okay, we got our doom. Now, all we're doing, man, we're doing it from bunch. So here's the mic point. There's the will on the ball. They'll fan. Okay, you can see the doom. Excellent job by the right guard. The doom transitioning back to the mic. Now, we got to be ready here, right? If this converts like jam, if this guy runs in the backside gap, the mic, we got to convert this to a doom to an ace and push this center over. But this is a really good picture here of just showing the back, pressing, set the mic. Look at the patience here. Now, guys, we like to be square and all that stuff. We're doing it from bunch, so the angles are a little bit different. But I get we'd like to be square, but this is a hell of a job by the tight end, right? We're in a big package here. So this is the F tight end. This is the Y tight end, who's a lineman. It's a hell of a job of the back and being coordinated. Press, bang, late to the mic. See him set the mic, bang. Hell of a job. Look at the receiver coming in for the safety. Pin the receiver. Let the ball bounce on the edge. We're one-on-one on the corner. Really good picture. All right, now, here's another example here of just the tight end from a West. You can see we don't need the short motion, the Z in, right? They're in split safety. He can get them from his alignment. So I just want you to see it from here. See him digging them in? Receiver's tied to it. Leave the corner. Now, I want to show you this one, okay? We have a doom. There's the mic. There's the will. There's the Sam. We got our doom to the mic. The Y is in a dry block. Okay, you can see. Good job here. Set the mic. Where should the ball go? Should go outside the mic read, right? Outside the mic read. This ball should bounce right to here. Right to here. Bang, crack. You can see how we're on the corner. So here we'd like the back to press. Now hit that bounce read, right? Bounce read, you set the mic, we got him with the doom, the ball should come here. Really nice picture here again, just showing you the safety's down, we short motion the safety in, or short motion the receiver in for the strong safety. Let's take a look here. We got Will on the ball, we fan, there's the mic, we're dooming. Now we got our quad. I think this is a nice picture here. Right? Now, just would like to see the Y jab go high leg right now, or if he's loose, go with an outside high leg right now. Just be careful of going down in there. Now, hell of a job by the tight end of what? Stopping, right? You can see the F tight end going with the overlap of stopping the end, and this is a great picture of a late launch. Late launch on the backer. Late launch on the backer, the back pressing, the ball can slice. For a little bit cleaner on the overlap here, we'll be in a little bit better shape, but I think this is a good picture of seeing how the safety, the receivers tied to the safety. I think it's an excellent picture of the late launch off the double team. Late launch off the double team. All right, very good. Now we're in 11 personnel. We're in bunch. Again, they're in two shell, right? So you can see the receiver, you got the nickel. This Z receiver will go block the safety. We don't need to short motion them because they're in split safety coverage. They're in split safety coverage. So here, we're going to make this the Mike point. Okay, there's your will. The guard tackle doomed to the Mike. Here's your ace. Nice picture here. Look at the overlap ace. See how it invites Barr to run underneath. Overlap ace. Don't get split. We're in great shape there. Here's the doom. Excellent removal. Great picture of the high leg by Brandon Sheriff, the right guard. Well done. You can see the tackle. Excellent job on the doom. Excellent job on the doom. High leg, launching vertical. The wide tight end's got the drive block. Now you could look at this, right? The back is going to go outside the mic. Now here, if they feel the end squeezing, which they will do, squeezing, this ball can bounce right on the edge right here, and you can see how we're clean on the edge. So it's a heck of a run here. It's a really good 4-yard run. But this would be a picture here. You'd say, okay, if you felt the end squeezing, bounce it outside. And here, I don't fault them, right? There's really not much color there. We do a little bit better job at the tight end position. We maybe got a little bit more, but this would be an example. If this guy starts to squeeze, this is a bounce read for the halfback. Right now, this is some really good pictures here, right? You can see Malcolm Jenkins is the strong safety here. You can see how Jenkins is inside, man, right? So here we're in 11 personnel, receiver. This guy has the nickel, right? And our Z receiver is responsible for the safety. Well, you can see here, man, he ain't going to get the safety from there, right? So we're going to short motion him in. This is a hell of a job now. You get these receivers aren't afraid to go in there. It's a hell of a job of the receiver of going in there, blocking Malcolm Jenkins, who's an excellent run player, okay? Doing a great job. You can see the receivers handling it. The tight ends on an angle drive versus the 9. Let's look at the doom. Hell of a job on the doom. Late launch. You can see the overlap ace. Hell of a job. Got great job here by the offensive line on the Mike and the Will. Hell of a job by the receiver. Would like to have his helmet inside in a perfect world, but god dang, that's a hell of a job on a really, really good football player. And you can see the read, right, is outside the mic, okay? And AP sees a little color there, but then there's a hell of he sees it go back out. If we got our hat inside, the ball is going there immediately, but it ends up getting back inside. Really nice picture of the double teams inside. Here would be in a picture here now of weak rotation. All right, so we're in bunch. These are our 2 receivers. We have weak rotation. So Heath is down weak. So we want to motion the receiver right weak. And you can see what it does. Here is the Mike. Here is the Will. Here is your nickel Sam. Okay, so hey, remember the Z receivers tied to the safety. Well, it's weak rotation. Maybe motion them weak. You can see the quarterback here sending the receiver weak. Okay, nice picture. Great picture of how it balances the front up, right? Because you wouldn't want to doom out to here, right? That's why we motion the receiver to the safety. So we keep the bigs on there. We keep the bigs on the linebackers. Motion the receiver, balances it up. So there's your doom. There's your ace. Hell of a job here by the doom. Excellent job. Here's your overlap ace. We're in really good shape here, man. Really good shape here. You can see the receiver on the nickel. The tight end's got to execute the drive block. Just be a little bit cleaner here. And we are through. You can see good read by the back. Off the doom, right? Working that thing in that hole right there. Nice picture, though, of really hopefully you're understanding the receiver motions, man, how it's tied to the safety, how it can influence the bump of the backers and the fit, right? That's all tied together. Once again, we get the bunch. We got weak rotation. Let's get that receiver over there, man. Okay, now this is an example here where they ran the nickel, right? In the last example, they did not run the nickel. See how they just bounced it and the nickel stayed here. right? So you can see they just bounced the free safety. The nickel stayed, no problem. In this picture, and I want to focus on the sets, right? You can see how the star ran. He ran with, and they just adjusted with the safeties. What teams will do is they'll either just run the safety back over, or if they run the nickel, they'll rotate the safeties, which is where you really like it, because this safety's late coming down when you snap the ball. So hear what I'm saying. You really like it when teams will adjust the safeties, meaning the nickel will run, he'll go to the post, he'll come down, you snap it late, you snap it early and get them where they're not dug in. Here they just ran the nickel and flipped the safeties. Flip the safeties. But again, you can see what it does to the backers, right? The backers stayed in the A gap, right? Motion over. So right here is initially the Mike, right? He goes back. They just flipped it over, no problem. Vander Bosch became the Mike. Jalen Smith is the Will. So you can see the Doom going to the Mike, and then the Ace going to the Will. Pretty good look here, right? And again, the tight end, right? Got to handle the end, right? But I think this ball should cram. Like, really, this ball should be ripping right there. I think if we're a little faster through there, we get through there cleaner and quicker. Because look at the read. The Mike's outside, man. Just hit that thing right there. Run through the smoke. Run through the smoke. Really good picture. Okay? And just another example here of the weak safety down. Weak safety down. Unlock the receiver. Motion him over. Okay? They didn't run the nickel. You can see they handled it with the safety. Now the hell of a job here versus the Pirate, right? Versus the Pirate. Hell of a job here by the receiver and the tight end. Crashing it down, let the ball bounce to the corner, which they'll do, right, man? They'll do. This is a hell of a job. Now, this ain't pretty, but versus the gap versus the fit. Nice job of the overlap ace, inviting that run through. We don't get split. You can see the center going to a high leg. Good job on the Doom. Well done. And then make the corners tackle, man. Make the corners tackle. All right, another example here, 11 personnel. Okay, and this was just our 2x2. This was a predetermined motion. This was not tied to the strong safety because you can see Jenkins is already down. We just wanted to get to a 2x2 formation to run this play. So you can see here, the receiver's already in a cut split so he can handle the strong safety. There's your Mike. There's your Will. We got our Doom. Hell of a job by the wideout. Hell of a job by the wideout. Great picture here of the overlap ace. You can see the center going to the high leg. Good job handling the double team. And you can see here, great picture how the ace block isn't split. See how it's not split? Can transition. We got a hat on a hat there, man. We are on the corner. I know it don't look sexy, man, but you are on the corner in 11 personnel run with having a guy they don't want tackling on your halfback. Here's a picture here of 1x3. We're in 1x3, and we're going to create a 2x2 look. So we're running our duo play. You can see Rashad Jones is down. Well, we want a Doom here to the Mike, okay? We want an ace to the Will. Now, fellas, we have to bring the receiver for the safety. Now, just so you all understand this, and see it, and you could certainly do this. If this safety was a little bit deeper, we'd say, screw it. You know what? We like the matchup. You don't have to bring the receiver. But Rashad Jones, a really good tackler. He's inside as a 9 technique. We didn't feel good about that. If this end was here and the safety's back at 7 yards, you may not want to bring the receiver. That's your call. But we are bringing him over to create a 2x2, okay? And now we got our Doom, right? We got our Doom, our ace, tight ends on the drive, and then receivers on the safety. The corner's the unblocked player. Now, I just want to put this example, and this is how you guys, however you want to handle it. When you get a 9 technique, right, typically if the safety's in here, you'll short motion that receiver in, right? But if you get the nickel and the safety outside, you don't need to short motion him. Now you got to make a decision if you want your Z to just handle him or you want to have a double team with the receivers for the nickel and the safety. But again, that is only when he is outside. That is that is your discussion, however you want to handle it. However you want to handle it. But I just wanted to show you that picture so you can kind of make that determination. All right, now, those were all of our duos to a 3 technique. Now I want to talk about our duos versus the pirate. Okay, remember, that was the transition from a doom to a tram. Okay, doom to a tram versus movement. So here you can see we're in 1x3. We're motioning Jordy over, okay, to create a 2x2. So it's just 2x2 duo. You can have your bubbles, your slip screens, whatever you want to the perimeter out there. Okay, we got a version of a slip screen here, all right, going on, but we're bringing the receiver over, all right, and he's just going to handle wherever that safety is. He's got him. Now they're in a 2x2 alignment, or excuse me, a 2-shell alignment, so he's MDM. They play cloud, he blocks the corner. Okay, now let's look here. Here is the mic point. Here's the mic, here's the will. So just like we talked about, the line has the mic and the will. So the doom would handle the mic, the doom would handle the mic versus the 3, and then the ace would handle the will. Now we got a pirate alert here because why? The end's in the gap, the mic's plussed out. So here you can see it goes from a doom. You can see David foot fire, right? Goes to a doom to a tram. You can see the tight end trying to stay square, go from 2 to 1 to 2. Great job being square. Bang! Come off on the mic, and you can see an excellent, excellent run by the halfback. Good example there versus the pirate, doom to a tram. All right, another picture here. Same look. Okay, I'm going to go to the end zone. We're in 2x2. Sorry, just want to show you Harrison Smith, excellent run defender, right at the line of scrimmage. So we can counter motion the Z so we can block him from inside out. Inside out. It's a heck of a job now on a really good player. Okay, Xavier Rhodes, leave him outside. All right, for the tackle. All right, for the halfback, excuse me. So right here, man, all right, there's your mic point. Okay, there's your will. We got our ace to the will, our doom. Now, all the tells here, man, you can see bar, the mic is plussed. The end's kind of dug in a 6. You can see this 3 technique or is playing heavy on the guard. This is a doom to a tram. So you can see here, the left tackle go from a doom to a tram. He comes back to shut off that pinch, man. And that is a really good job there, right? Of shutting that off. You can see him launch. Would like to have that hat inside. Would like to get that hat inside. But that's a good picture, man, of versus the pirate or the crash of converting that doom to a tram. Doesn't look sexy, but that's a 4-yard gain right there. 4-yard gain. Nice job here by Brandon Sheriff going with the overlap on the ace. It's well done. Well done versus movement. Another picture here. Again, okay, in bunch. We're in 11 personnel. You got it. Weak safety's down. What are we going to do, man? We're going to bring them over. Bring them over in our 3x1. You can see the discussion here of what they want to do, who they want to get back. The nickel probably should have ran here. They're a little bit confused. Okay? Now, I want you to look at the movement, right? You got a doom. We got a doom to the mic. Watch Trent Williams. Excellent job. Foot fire. Doom to a tram. Shut it off. Shut it off. Back pressing. Now, all I want to tell you here, if we're a little bit cleaner at the Y spot, right? Vert staying square, right? You can see this ball is going to rip right here. It's going to whip right here. Okay? Just stay in there. Stay in there for the back. Press, 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 right? There's no color. Press. That ball will come right there. It gets back there, but this ball has a chance to rip right in there versus the movement. And an excellent, excellent job by the tackle man of the doom to the tram. That's a really nice job. Excellent job by the wideout. Okay, just a couple other examples here of doom to trams, right? You can see the 2 technique head up. We go from a doom, convert back to the tram. Here's the mic point. Here's the mic. That's where the doom's going. Excellent, excellent job converting. Bang. Great job. Doom to tram. We're off and running, right? Just be a little cleaner on the transition launch. Got a chance for that thing to split. Get it up inside. All right, now, let's talk about the duo versus the 4 or the 5 technique. Duo versus the 4 or 5. Okay, so now we got a tram. We got a tram. So we motion over to our 2x2 sub run. Sub run. Here's the mic. Here's the will. So you can see here the safety. The receiver's on the safety. We now are going to a tram. Tackle, now the tackle's got to be ready to launch, just like he is, right? You can see the back press. Got to go off the mic read. Off the mic read, he can cram it there, or he bounces it. Now he's on the corner. So now he's on Byron Jones on his own. But you can see the receiver, right? Press it, cram it there, bounce. He bounces it outside. He's on his own on the corner. Nice job by the wideout on the safety. Look at our backside. We got our ace front side. Hat on a hat. Good run. Get it outside for 7-8 yard gain. Here's another example here now. Now we have a 4 or 4-eye. We got our high leg cross shove tram. You can see the high leg cross shove. Shoulders square. Boom. You can see him knock it on. Look at boom. See the head? See the head here of the 4? Watch him. Boom. Put it back on the tackle, man. Put it back on the tackle and climb vertical on the mic. You can see the F tight end. He's on the Sam. Here's the mic. There's the tram. The ace is going to the will. Okay? And then on the backside, and I really haven't spent much time on the backside tackle, man, I would say this. If you know a guy is rushing up the field, you can pass set him. We would pass set. We would just take a quick draw set and throw him up the field. If the guy is playing more into you, then you got to take a post cutoff block, right? Because you don't want to pass set him because he'll cross your face. But again, a really nice example. And again, let's look at the receiver, man. They played 2-shell. No need to short motion. He can just MDM. And you don't always have to have him in a cut split. If you can get it from here, you're fine, right? And then alert the maybe motion. But here, we had him in a cut split because these guys are hard 8-man box football team, the Giants. But again, a nice job. Let's look at the left guard on the ace. Hell of a job on the cross shove. God dang, isn't that pretty? Nice job. And you can see AP, right, finding the cut here, right off the mic. The mic's out. He's in off the mic. Really good looking play. That's a nice job. It's a hell of a tram, man. That's a hell of an ace. Good high legs. Nice press by the back. Good decision off the mic read. It's a good football play. Okay, now we're in 13 personnel. Okay, so remember, we got the third tight end, right? And this will be an example here of the tight ends, right? And I want to just say this. If this was a receiver, remember, we'd what? We would tram. There's the mic point. Tram, ace, Sam. We would short motion the receiver in for the safety, right? But because we have the tight ends here, hey, man, let's handle it with a Cinco. And we're just not quite coordinated here. And I'm not sure Lance knows he has help on this because he would be with a high leg technique. But you can see him and Richie really do a hell of a job of handling the Sam to the safety, and you got it. Let's book the corner. And you can see versus man coverage, the corner squeezes. Nice job by the back pressing, right? Really is, right? Now, you'd like the tackle here to launch a little quicker, right? But you can see how the tram is going to the mic. Like Marty to be a little bit more square with his high leg, but he gets square through. He gets his high leg square through the tram block, right? Just like to be a little square coming down with that inside knee a little higher, but he gets there through the drive. But you can see a hell of a job here. The ball bounces. You get it on the corner. Really good look here. And again, another example here. We're just motioning to a 3-by-1. Just motioning to a 3-by-1. And the receiver still tied to the safety. Receiver is still tied to the safety. You can see we snap it. We get the rotation weak. Want to focus here on the launch of the tight end. Okay, there's the mic. There's the will. Okay, watch the high leg. Cross shove, square. He can't use the flipper, so he plays longer with his arms, right, because of the 4 inside, and he's got great awareness on the backer. Hell of a job, late launch. Hell of a job. Really nice picture of the late launch, man. Really nice. All right, let's continue with our 13 personnel presentation here. And you can see, same thing here. They're in an 8-man front with the corner aggressively rolled up. Now they went 3 safeties on here. So you can see there's the mic, right? There's the Sam, there's the tram, there's the ace. Okay. The F tight end's in a drive. All right, there's the safety. So we can Cinco this, right? You can see the tight end's handling it. Who's left? The corner. Leave the corner. Okay, we got the tram here. You can see the tackle, high leg, late launch, late launch. Got a chance for this thing to bounce on the corner. Again, don't look like much, man. These are 6, 7 yard gains, all right, on this duo play with limited ability for run through. This is an example here, and this is more to the halfback here. All right, you can see there's the mic point. There's the mic point. Okay, there's your will. There's your will backer. Or sorry, there's your will. There's your mic point. We're going to fan to the will. We're going to ace, okay, back to the mic. And then you can see the quad here going to the Sam. This is the safety. So you can see the extra tight end, or could be the receiver, handles the safety. Hell of a job here by Adrian pressing. Look at him set the blocks in man coverage. Look at the corner, crack, replace, right? Following Jordan Reed in. Really nice job, and the ball bounces. Some really nice pictures there. Now let's talk about this play versus jam. Okay, remember jam is our doom alert ace, right? Our doom alert ace versus jam. So we get a jam front. We're talking about the center and both guards covered, right? So you can see here they're going to fan, right? They got a 3 technique. They're going to fan. Well, right here, man, is the mic point. There's the mic point. There's the Sam. So the quad will handle the Sam. Okay, you can see the receiver short motion and further strong safety. The quad will handle the Sam. The doom handles the mic. But you can see here where the mic is, right? You can see how Brandon Sheriff starts to doom. But if the mic runs in the back door, man, we are dead, right? We have to convert that to a ace block. So it starts out as a doom alert ace. Doom alert ace. You can see it transition back, and that is an outstanding job by the center and the guard and the tackle here of handling the doom alert ace versus Mike in the back door. If we ideally want to keep the doom on, right? If we knew that Mike was going to flow strong, great. But what teams will do is they'll jam you up and try to hit that backside run through. Hell of a job. Look at the quad, right? The quad, we got to go now with the quad, right? So we can't go to a high leg. So the F tight end's alone, working to get his hat inside and trying to stay as square, right? Squareness is critical. The back will run off. Hell of a job by the halfback of punching that thing through. That's a really nice picture, right, of handling the doom to the ace. Hell of a job by the receiver, right? Short motion and in to take the strong safety. And you can see, man, they got everybody up at the line, man. That ball breaks through, you're on the post safety. Excellent, excellent look. Some really, really good stuff going on there. All right, another look. They jammed it up. They jammed it up. You can see, same picture, backed up on the goal line. You can see the doom convert to an ace. Bang, right? You can see the back. It's a hell of a run now. You can see the will just gets literally removed, right? You're reading Keekly here, the mic, the mic is right here on the doom. There's the will. They fan it, right? So the doom converts to the ace. You can see the back. Where'd the mic go? He's reading it off the mic. Look where that ball ends up. That is an outstanding job right there. And that ball's coming off the goal line for about a 30-yard gain, fellas. That's a really good job. Again, emphasis on the dooms converting to an ace. Another picture here. You can see they're in a jam look. There's the mic. There's the Sam on the quad. We're in 13 personnel. There's the end and Sam, and then there's the safety. We booked the corner. Again, watch the doom convert to an ace. Because you can see from depth now, right? Remember, we want to keep that doom on. Okay, if he mugs up, we can get it to an ace. But great job by Brandon Sheriff and Chase onto the center on the doom to an ace. Just showing pictures of the conversion, right? You can see it. And then ideally that ball could stay right there, man. That ball, because we're reading it off the mic, that ball could hit right there. He might have felt cleats in his way, but that thing could rip right up in there for a big one. Then just here's an example of jam in sub. They jammed it up. They jammed it up. So right here would be the mic point. This is the will mugged up. Center and guard will handle this. There's your doom. You can see Jordy here. MDM off the safety. Nice picture. Handle the safety. Leave the corner free. So that will conclude the duo presentation and the various looks. And I want to end, okay, with some of the play actions you can do off of the duo play. These are just some play actions that we could do off the duo play. We will short motion the receiver in, and there's some examples here, right? This is out of our 12 personnel package where we're selling the quad. It's the same responsibilities. The Mike and Will are handled by the line. The YY has the Sam. You can see Jordy coming in like he's cracking the receiver. The old crack replace. We're running the crack seam behind it. So just want to show it to you. There's the quad to the Sam. They're dooming to the Mike. They're acing to the Will. So you can just see, again, how you can match these play actions off the run. There's the crack seam. You can see Byron Jones playing the duo play. Throw it behind him. So again, just seeing it from the end zone, guys. And again, I'm going to hit these quick, and just so you can see, right? See the safety, see the action, a duo, the halfback on the protection, the line handles the Mike and Will, the halfback in the YY will handle the Sam. The halfback has safety strong and weak, strong and weak. Okay, here's a look out of Zebra, okay, off of the insert. All right, so again, the line handles the Mike and Will. So now the halfback would be responsible for the nickel Sam to safety. So you can see here we're short motion in the Z as if we're inserting for Malcolm Jenkins on the duo. He's inserting for the strong safety. He wants to bluff. You can see the safety step up, and we're just running a corner route. Corner route with the zebra on the flat. And I'll show you here. Short motion in, looks like duo, right? We're going to doom to the Mike. We're going to ace. We're going to block him with the strong safety. The receiver's got the nickel. So now the receiver's going to bluff the nickel, run the flat. The insert player will run the corner out. Halfback responsible for the nickel to the safety if we're in sub personnel on the pressure. The other variation, again, the line's got the Mike and the Will. Here's the strong safety. Short motion the receiver in. You can see the safety. Shoot his guns, man. He's playing the run all day. Tight ends on the end. And now we're running the insert player on a shallow cross. He's running a shallow cross. The point player who has the nickels running a deep cross. And you can do it how any way you want. Just giving you examples to protect the insert. Protect the insert. And then another example here of another way to do it. We're running the deep cross with a V out by the X. Again, same protection, just ways you can handle it. Here we're out of our YY package. Receiver would have the safety. If it was duo, we would tram, we would drive. Again, just various ways to conflict the coverage, right? Get the backers to step up. You can have the play pass however you want. And then this is a way we did it out of 11 personnel off the flea flicker. 11 personnel off the duo play, running the flea flicker. Bringing the deep cross back. Going in like we're digging it, running the take two post, reading the post to the deep cross. Just variations. All right, men, that concludes our duo clinic. I really enjoyed it. Hope you all are staying safe. And again, want to thank Coach Deleone for the opportunity to speak at his clinic and all he has done for football and all he has given back to this great game. Have a great spring.